Hey everybody, I'm Kristin Hostetter, editor of Snooze and The Voice, and we're here at Outdoor Retailer, and I'm talking with my friend Michelle Fleming, who's the marketing manager of Stanley. And we've been working together a lot in the last couple months on the Plastic Impact Alliance. Michelle has been with us from the very, very beginning when we had this idea to really bring mindfulness to our single-use plastic use at the show as individuals. And so it's been really amazing, hasn't it, to see how this thing has exploded. And it's not that none of this was happening prior to this show, but I feel like there's just been this plastic moment, you know. Here's an example. I've been writing about the outdoor industry and covering Outdoor Retailer show for 25 years.
Yeah.
And it's funny, we always do trend reports. Sustainability has been in our trend report for, no joke, like 15 years. And it occurred to me yesterday, it's like, when you're saying sustainability is a trend for 15 years running, it's no longer a trend, it's the new norm.
Yeah.
Right? And I think we're now really, really having this cohesive moment around plastic, in large part due to, companies like Stanley and all the work that you've been doing for so many years around that mindfulness.
That's true. I mean, we talk about it in the office that, we've been doing reusable bottles since 1913. I mean, it's like the very beginning of it, like literally. And we've been making all kinds of different products to help people, not have to use single-use plastic or even paper cups for their coffee. I mean, in PMI in general, we do a lot of work with companies like Starbucks to reduce their waste too. So it's it's part of the PMI DNA for sure. Yeah.
For sure. I mean, in the Alliance has been amazing, right? I mean, we've had so many brands. I think we're up to 200, close to 250 brands so far, and a lot more signing on every single day. And brands that are just committing to really looking at their trade show footprint. Yep. And trying to improve it. And I mean, the changes that we've seen on the show floor, I mean, let's just rattle them off for people that aren't here because, again, these things have been happening slowly over the years, but it's this moment, and there's so much awareness. We've got over 170 brands with water stations. I mean, you literally can't walk more than 20 paces on the show floor, it feels like, without seeing water availability.
True. There's no way that you can not find it.
Right, it's everywhere, and it's been hard to find in the past.
Yeah, for sure.
Right? What else have we seen? We see, happy hours are filled with very few brands are using plastic cups at their happy hours. We're seeing so many reusable stainless steel cups from Stanley and other brands.
That's right.
Another thing that I noticed is I've been going to the OIA breakfasts and lunches, and they've done an amazing job. I mean, not only at the breakfast where you brought together all those water bottle brands to give away free mugs on day one, but the lunches, have you seen what they were doing with the lunches? People are getting trays, their lunches in trays, not in boxes, like it used to be wrapped up in boxes, but on trays.
Oh, that's so cool.
And there's not a single paper product in there. It's real silverware, it's a real cloth napkin.
That's true, actually.
And I mean,
I went to a lunch yesterday.
Huge change.
Yeah, it is.
And so I love the commitment that they've made.
Yeah.
Outdoor Retailer brought in Nalgene to give 25,000 water bottles to every single attendee.
Yeah.
They've ripped up all the single-use carpet. Like, it's really there's so many plastic conversations in booths.
But we're so conscious of it. I mean, I think we've even talked about it's now talking about what more can we do?
Right.
Like, how do we reduce packaging?
Yeah.
Get rid of the plastic that comes in Polybags that covers product.
Yeah.
How do we try to eliminate that?
Yeah.
How do we become more aware of just bringing less product to the show?
Right.
And encouraging people to already bring what they have.
Yeah. Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Because Stanley is so very, very, very generous with giving away mugs and cups and all your different drinking vessels. And do you know how many bottles I've been gifted in this 3-day show already?
Oh, man.
Take a guess. And I'm not looking a gift horse in a mouth by any means.
Yeah.
6.
6?
Yeah, and I've refused some. And so, like, you and I have talked about this, right? Like, that's all great, and we want to make sure everybody is, like I said to someone yesterday, it's like I leave the house now, it's my wallet, my keys, my phone, my sunglasses in my bottle.
Yeah.
It's part of my kit. We want to make sure that's the case. And so, but at some point when we come to these events together, we need to maybe pump the brakes on all these giveaways, right? And we need to say, okay, now it's time to bring what you have, right?
And be conscious of that. I think one of the things that I have come across on the show floor that I think is super impressive is what Noon did with that vessel company.
No kidding.
And that they have the little 2-ounce taster cups. They're renting them and then cleaning them and taking them away.
Right. And bringing them back the next morning to reuse.
And it's such a cool thing. And I mean, we actually are doing that starting next week with the Pursuit series. We're having our single wall stainless steel beer pints, and we'll be putting a big garbage can there, and we'll take those beer pints, put them in the garbage, take them away, clean and sanitize them, bring them back for the next day for happy hour to make sure that we are reusing what we have.
That's the way to go. That's what we have to do collectively. And
I think that's going to be the next step, because there's so many drinkware brands out there.
Right.
I mean, we've got a lot to give up, and it's great to have. Yeah. But I mean, I've even heard it from journalists over the years, like, "Hey, I got a lot. I don't want to take any more."
Yeah.
But that's also thinking about it from the waste perspective. If we're trying to do less and reduce waste,
right.
We have to think about it from our own brands and how we can impact it that way too.
For sure. So we have a meeting with our Plastic Impact Alliance task force at the end of this show to kind of debrief and talk about all of the great sort of successes and programs and efforts that people have been made, and also to kind of think about what's next. What can we do next? Like, this isn't a one-time thing. This wasn't just one time, let's do a great job at this show and not continue forward. What are some of your ideas on what's next? Like, what's the next sort of level of mindfulness that we can bring to this whole discussion? Like you mentioned, Polybags.
The Polybags is the one big one. I have really enjoyed Leah Colabello.
Right, I know, she's amazing.
Gosh. She's honestly just such a passionate human being.
Leah Colabello is a plastic expert, a contractor for a number of brands, Costa, Noon, and she's been a really key member of our alliance and our task force, and she's just really good at finding solutions. And I think that's what we're trying to do with this alliance. Is let's all work together to find solutions to be better.
Yeah, right? And I think part of those solutions are, yes, we still have a lot of plastic on the show floor with Polybags, with packaging for apparel, and that's the way that comes, and it's the challenge that we as manufacturers and brands have from a perspective of shipping.
Right.
For instance, Amazon requires that things be polybagged. How do we get over that?
How do we get Amazon to change?
Right. That's where we're at too. Right. How do we get Amazon to change?
Maybe we can. Yeah. Let's try.
I think we should. I would like to, because it's just. It's a lot of packaging. Even when you get a box from Amazon, you're just like, gee.
Yeah. And retailers have been kind of complaining about that for a long time, because they get their boxes of shipment and they unload them. And so one of the exciting things that Leah brought to our attention that we're going to hopefully be talking about more is this idea. There's a company in Pennsylvania, I believe, that takes polybags and recycles them into decking material.
Yes.
And I'm sure there's more companies that do that, but we found this one, and we hope that we can maybe use that as a solution for all the polybags that come into the show next time around. And so there's all kinds of really exciting stuff percolating, and it's exciting to see where it's going to go.
I actually am really excited about the polybag situation.
Yeah.
And I also think that it would be really interesting to think about what Vessel has done with the tasting cups, and maybe apply it to a coffee cup.
Right. Yeah, totally. Yep.
Could work. I don't know, but I think these are the things that we have to explore.
Yeah. Well, it's been really fun to work with you
Yeah.
on it. Thank you
Yes.
so much for all your time and your thoughtfulness
Thank
around
you.
this. And thanks to all the companies who have joined the Plastic Impact Alliance and all the people that have taken the Plastic Impact Promise, which is an individual promise to reduce your single-use plastic use. I invite you to go to snoozenet.com and join this movement, help us come up with solutions, and stay informed on all this exciting traction that we're having. So thank you so much. Cheers.
Thank you. Cheers.
All right.